start off by talking about our Evolution Juvenile products. We have a life and critical illness portion for this. We have a simplified and guaranteed option for our Evolution coverage. So we have coverage for life and CI. It's termed to age 25, so that means the coverage stays in force until age 25. What's great about it is that you can also convert from ages 22 to 25. This is where I'm going to tie in how you can leverage our Evolution adult products as well during this time. This product is especially good for clients or children that are harder to insure. It's very flexible and affordable rates, and it's also instant issue. Our standard issue product, we ask you, regardless of standard or guaranteed, we're going to ask you 16 questions. That 16 questions will qualify you under our simplified or our guaranteed issue product. Super simple process. You just go through the questions, you answer yes or no questions to qualify if you fit underneath our standard or our guaranteed issue product. Quick overview. So let's kind of break it down into our life coverage. So our life coverage standard issue goes up to $275,000 for children. Standard issue, which means, they're fairly healthy, there's no medical conditions there, they will be eligible for $275,000 coverage. We have a guaranteed issue option for $12,500. So let's say you're going through those 16 questions, you answer, yes, the child has autism or some sort of medical condition. It would drop you down to our guaranteed issue product, so they can get $12,500 of life coverage. What is unique about this product, if you look over to the left here, is the issue age. So the issue age, it says here, it's at 15 days old to 17 years. The 15 days, it's what is unique. What this allows parents to do, basically, is get their child insurance at 15 days old and secure $275,000 of coverage. A lot of illnesses, developmental delays, any conditions, medical conditions, are usually diagnosed a little bit later on, a couple months in, or maybe when they start school, you notice the developmental delays and it gets diagnosed then. However, we allow you to get insurance with us with 15 days old. So there's most likely no conditions been diagnosed yet. So you're able to secure $275,000 at our standard issue rate, which will then be convertible, that full amount, or if you want to do a lesser amount, you can convert that whole amount into our best risk class when they're ages 22 to 25. That 15 days is what I think is the most unique part of this product. It really allows you to secure coverage. It's very affordable, $10 worth of life insurance. And you get to secure that rate at 15 days old and pay that amount until they're age 22 to 25, and you can convert that full amount as well. So even if I know I say it's for hard to insure, but it's a great option for to prevent anything. If anything was to happen, it's a great plan just to have as a backup, because you are able to secure it. It's guaranteed if you go through those 16 questions, and you're able to secure $275,000 of coverage that you can guarantee convert when 22 to 25. That's just a quick overview of our life juvenile products. And then we have our critical illness. So our critical illness standard issue, it goes up to $50,000 of coverage. Our guaranteed issue goes up to $12,500. So you can get life $12,500, and you can also get CI $12,500 if it's a guaranteed issue. So they would say yes to any one of those 16 questions. They would be underneath the guaranteed issue product. So you can get up to $50,000 standard issue. The issue age is 1 month to 17 years old. So this is also unique in the marketplace. You can get that CI coverage at 1 month old, and we cover 32 major medical conditions. Emily, any questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask a quick question, because I know we've discussed this previously on other presentations, and I always like to go back into it. Is that simplified versus guaranteed? So I know we spoke about this a few times, but I love this conversation, because simplified at SLI means that you have asked the questions, but there is no medical information gathered after the MIB. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So there's no fluids, there's no nurse checkups, there's nothing like that. And the reason behind that, and correct me if I'm wrong, the reason behind that is because you've got Jenny, the AI system, asking all the questions. So if you guys haven't seen Jenny yet, it goes from one screen asking questions, and then a brand new screen next comes up specific to how you answered the questions on the previous screen. So it's very specific to the how you're answering the questions, what the next question will be. And therefore, SLI sees that as simplified because they do not need to go get blood, fluids, anything like that, additional information. They feel content after their questions and the MIB.
Thank you for bringing that up. Very, very good point. So just to elaborate a little bit on that. So our standard simplified issue, all it really means is we're going to ask you medical questions. But like you said, there's no medicals that are actually being done, blood, urine, telephone interview, nothing like that. We ask you a set of questions that will qualify you underneath our simplified standard issue product. Once it goes into guaranteed issue, you still technically go through Jenny to determine if you will fall underneath guaranteed issue. A lot of people ask, okay, so why are we even being asked these questions if it's going to be guaranteed issue? Because I've had it where advisors like, okay, my client has this condition, it's obviously going to be guaranteed issue. But when they actually go through Jenny and they answer these questions, they're like, oh, okay, I can actually get a better risk class. I can get standard, a simplified issue product with us. So we make you go through those questions in case you're actually able to get a better product. The only big difference between our standard issue, guaranteed issue, is the questions that are asked. One asks questions, the other one does not ask any questions. And it's guaranteed. The next slide over here, oh, it's cut out at the bottom, but it says kidney failure right at the bottom. But these are the 32 major conditions that are covered by our critical illness for juveniles. It is a bit more than our adult product. Our adult product has 25 major conditions that we cover. And for children, we do 32 conditions. There is a full list of all of this on our website, which we're going to go through right now. We're going to do a little live demo of how we apply for this juvenile product. It's super simple. It is a little bit different. If you guys are familiar with Evolution, the adult product, same process, but the questions are a little bit different. It's a lot more simple for the juvenile product. The question set is much more simple. It's not as intuitive as the adult product. So let's get into that. This is iApplication. I am not sure if you guys are familiar with this page, but this is just our platform. You don't have to download anything. It's just a link that you log into. If you don't have access to this, I am happy to get you access to this. All I need is your insurance license and E&O just to set you up on this platform. It doesn't mean you're fully contracted with us, but just to get you set up on this platform, all I need is a copy of the insurance license and E&O. So feel free, if you do want it, reach out to me. I'm happy to set you up. As soon as you do get access to this, there's 3 boxes here. It doesn't matter what product you want to apply for. This is what you would click. Jenny, start a new application. I don't just use this to start a new application. I use it just to qualify clients as well. This is saved application. So anything you've started, let's say your computer crashed, it'll all be saved in there safely. Quick quote is where you get your illustrations. One thing I want to mention is quick quote, you go to after you figure out what risk class your client is qualifying for. So you want to know if they're standard or if they're guaranteed first, or what risk class they're in before going on to quick quote. So where you go to figure out what they qualify for is in iApplication, and we would click on Jenny. Oh, log me in. Log back in. Okay, there you go. So if anyone has any juvenile cases you want to run, feel free to let me know, but I'm just going to do a standard case for now. Let's do a male that was born 2015, let's say. 1 second. So right now, I'm not filling out everything as you see. I'm just filling out the ones with the asterisk. What's good about this, it just lets you fill out just the information that we need so you're able to at least qualify your clients. What I also like about this is a lot of people are hesitant when it comes to applying for insurance as well. So what this allows you to do is go ahead, like you can just ask your client these questions without it locking it into like a database where they're afraid, okay, I'm going to tell you all the answers and now these are the answers that are going to be locked into a database and it's going to be kind of held against me or in sorts. What we allow you to do is you can go ahead and qualify your clients. You don't have to put their names, you don't have to put all their information in. You can just figure out what they qualify for. Once they, okay, I like this product, this premium's fine, I'm eligible for all of this, then you can go ahead and apply. but it gives them that safety and just kind of that peace of mind that they can go through and actually figure out what they can qualify for, but without being underwritten right away and without MIB records being codes being put in. Share my screen again. All right. And as soon as we get to put on all that information, it says an 8-year-old child, you're only going to see the Evolution Junior product on the side. If I put someone that is older, you're going to see products that are applicable to the client's age. So let's say I put someone that's 80 years old, you're not going to final expense critical illness at AD&D. So it's going to be intuitive based on the age that you put. Okay, so let's click on Evolution Junior. Let's get started. Next question. Wait, I think I wanted to show that non-face-to-face option. I'll show it for the adult product. Okay, so let's do next question. And it's going to start asking a couple of questions here. It's going to be 16 questions that we ask. Over here on your left, there is a button. It's going to list out all of the questions that have been asked, all of your answers. You can always click it to go back and change your answers. On the right here, this is going to be your best friend, Jenny Live Assist. If you click on this, it's going to show you as of right now. So as we're going through these questions, we haven't answered anything just yet. But as of right now, the client is eligible for Evolution Junior, our standard product. So not the guaranteed issue just yet. And they're eligible to get up to $275,000. You see the premiums right there, $50,000 of CI, and you see the premiums right there as well. You see the total amount, you can layer the coverage, you can pick Juvenile Life or CI, but you can play around with it right here. So if there was to change into guaranteed issue, it would show you right in that blue box.
We have a question here, if you don't mind,
yes.
specifically about a 1-year-old with sickle cell disorder.
Okay, so what's at the top of my head, I can just say that would be a guaranteed issue product. So I'll show you the questions that we do go through. So ages between 15 days old to 18 years old will be the same set of questions. So regardless of the age, as soon as you hit yes to one of these questions, it will drop you down to guaranteed issue. So I will show you how that looks. 4 foot, an 8-year-old. I don't know if that's an average height for an 8-year-old, but I hope so. It's going to ask if your siblings have any life coverage or is critical illness, a standard question. Siblings. Okay, so these are the non-medical questions that we're going to ask. The hazardous sport question. If they're awaiting any surgeries or test results. So what the generic idea here is, if you do click yes to any of these questions, most likely will drop you into a standard issue product, guaranteed issue product. So we want to make sure that you aren't waiting for any test results or any non-routine procedures. This is standard in most insurance applications. Any symptoms that you have not consulted a doctor yet for, or any of inconclusive test results that you need a follow-up for, hopefully not, we can stand within our standard issue. HIV. Okay, so this is lung disorders, anything of that source, excluding asthma, with up to 2 medications. So you can still have asthma with, let's say, 1 medication, you can click no for this. So sickle cell, I believe, is what we said. So I'm just going to keep an eye out for that if anything does pop out in that sense. It does group the conditions. So any heart conditions here. I'm trying to see if sickle cell does pop up. Autoimmune. I'm not sure if sickle cell is an autoimmune disorder or something of that sort. And cancers. This is for any, mental or brain disorders. These are just 16 questions that we go through and ask. Mental health concerns here also does pop up. If you have any eating disorders, we do consider that as well. And then for family history, we just check if the family members have been diagnosed before the age of 60 with any of these following conditions. We don't ask for a full family history. We just ask if they've been diagnosed before the age of 60 with any of these 4, I believe, conditions, 4 or 5 conditions. So let's say I was to hit yes now for one of these questions. Let's hit, so before I hit yes, we're on our guaranteed issues. And when I click the yes, we drop down into our guaranteed issue product. And you can see that we can only get 12,500 of coverage here. And it shows you the rates based on that as well. As soon as you go ahead with the application, as soon as you're done, I hit yes, it'll take me over to the application. Now here, I pick how much coverage I want. I can lower it if I wanted, pick how much coverage, and then you can go ahead and complete the application. One thing to remember is before you hit proceed, it will lock in all those answers. So let's say you want to just save this, you want to come back to it, you're not really sure if you answered these questions right, your client wasn't with you. Go ahead and just click save and close up at the top over here. And then come back to this later. You can go ahead and alter the answers as you need, and then go ahead and proceed to the application. Once you go ahead and proceed, those questions all lock in. But whoever is familiar with our application process, this is a little bit simpler than the adult product. The application has 4 pages. Once you're done the application, you go on to the summary page. Now, once you get to the summary, all you do is you go ahead and put the client's email address in. Oh, I left the whole application part empty. So if there is only one owner and the payer is the same, it'll only show you one box. But over here, I'm putting it, it's just what I'm showing you this for is it's because it's important to put in the client's email address in first. You hit view, most of this would already be filled out, so you're not going to see all these red boxes. But page 8 is where the advisor signs. There's this option here. You go ahead, click here, you draw your signature in, you hit save. And then you click on send application to carrier now. What happens with this now is the application gets sent to the client, the owner, the payer for signature. Then it gets sent to us for processing. Once it's processed, what time is it right now? I know it's 1:20 for me. I know for some people it's 11 o'clock. If you actually submit an application with us before 12, let your wholesaler know as well, your direct contact. We can push it on our end and we can get it issued the same day or within 12 to 24 hours. The commissions also get paid out the same day as well. Yeah, super simple process. There's no extra delivery requirements. It's a simplified issue product. As soon as you click on send application to carrier now, you really won't have any extra follow-ups to do. And it will be issued. And all right, so that's just a quick overview of how we go ahead and apply for our juvenile products. Super simple, super straightforward. It's a set of 16 questions that we ask, and you go ahead and send in the application, processed all within a day or 12 to 24 hours. So what's great about these products is you can convert our Evolution Junior products to our Evolution Adult product. So if you did fall within our standard product, so if you fell within our standard product, you can convert so that $275,000 of coverage, you can convert that into our best risk class, RC1. If you did fall within the guaranteed issue product, you automatically can convert it into our lowest risk class, which is RC5. So that's just the standard if you want to convert. There are other options that your client and the child may be eligible for. So we're going to kind of dig into how that conversion process will now work and what other options that is available for the child. As I mentioned, we have a couple of risk classes here. So RC1 is our standard issue, that life standard issue for juveniles. This is what they will be able to be eligible for, our advanced plus product, up to $1 million of coverage. We would have it for the adult product, but you would have to be, if you want to convert it, you can only convert that to 75. We have Evolution Advance, Express Plus, and then we have RC5, which is Evolution Essence. This is our lowest risk class. If your client is in guaranteed issue, and there are cases where with our juvenile product, they have autism. They will be within our guaranteed issue product, which will be RC5 if you were to convert. However, with our adult product, having autism, you can actually be eligible for one of these other risk classes. So conversion is a good option if the client does now have, or maybe if they developed any other medical conditions that would result them automatically, in a guaranteed issue product. But if it is something that they can possibly be eligible for a better risk class, it's always best to check that. Our standard issue will automatically go into RC1, but if they do have a guaranteed issue product, the best step is what to do is to check if they can actually be eligible for RC1, 2, or 3, or 4. If they don't, then you can still convert that 12,500 into our RC5 product. So we're going to go into now our adult products, what we offer there, and how our rating systems work if you didn't want to do that conversion, and see what options are available for the child. So RC1 is our best product, Evolution Advanced Plus. It's up to $1 million of immediate coverage. RC2 is advanced, up to $1 million of immediate coverage. Again, the only difference is the premiums that will change based on the increase in risk. Then we have Express Plus. It's up to $500,000 in immediate coverage. Then we have RC4 Express, which is $300,000 of deferred coverage. It's going to be a 1-year deferral if you're under the age of 60, and then you have a 2-year deferral if you're over the age of 60. Then we have RC5 Evolution Essence. It's a guaranteed issue product. So you're going through Jenny, let's say, and you started off at RC1. You said that they had Huntington's, for example. It's an automatic RC5 product. No more questions asked. It's going to be a guaranteed issue product, but there's a 2-year deferral on that. So 95% of our applicants actually fall within RC1 to RC3, and 81% of our applicants fall within RC1. So these are your clients with cancers, diabetes, mental health concerns, blood pressure, diabetes, like those cancers, yes, they're severe. But what I like to say, these are moderate in SLI's eyes, let's say. So you can have any of these conditions as long as it's controlled and it's monitored. It usually will fall within our RC1 and RC3 to RC3 product, as long as it's not too severe. Yes, we are protected by Assurance. I have a document that I can send out at the end of, I'll be sending out CE credits. So with that email, I'll send out clarification for that question. Thank you for asking that. Okay. So how is SLI helping, you guys and advisors to get insurance, helping you guys with the whole application process? So we are part of an insure tech organization. We're not just an insurance distributor. We created an innovative insurance solution, like you saw with Jenny. That's our solution that we created. It is a administrative underwriting and application tool. And we did partner up with reputable insurance companies such as Chubb and Humania to provide you these products. So the claims process and being protected under Assurance does fall within Humania and Chubb. So we do provide you a fully underwritten product with no medicals. So what that means is, okay, we're simplified issue. So it usually means, okay, it's not going to be a fully underwritten product. However, the way Jenny asks questions, we use the expertise of doctors, lawyers, and underwriters in this field to create a fully underwritten product. The questions that are asked are very thorough and in-depth based on the client's medical condition to truly understand the full risk that is associated with the client's condition individually on an individual basis. And that's how we're able to provide you that fully underwritten product. We also do cross-reference MIB. We don't do any medicals. There's no fluids, as Emily said, but we do cross-reference MIB to confirm whatever is on the application to be accurate. We also provide the highest coverage in the non-medical space right now, which is up to $1 million of coverage. And we are increasing that to $2 million. I think by the end of the summer, it should be increasing to $2 million. We also don't do any underwriting at claims time. So all the underwriting is happening with you and the client when you're going through Jenny. All those questions that are asked is all the underwriting questions. Normally what would happen is, you get your quote from your wholesaler, you fill out the application, the generic questions, you say you do have cancer, you have diabetes. The underwriter has these follow-up questions. You may need to go back to them, answer their underwriting questions that they have. All the underwriting just happens with us before you even submit the app. So whatever questions that we may have, it's all going to be shown with you and the client. So you are also very well aware of what questions we're asking. Let's say the risk class did drop. You know exactly why it dropped because you're seeing all the questions and you're seeing instant results at which question changed to what risk class.
I have a question here from Paige. It's asking about a 67-year-old who wants $250,000 of term insurance. Mm-hmm. So in regards to maximums, I believe this person would still be qualifying for the 250.
Yes.
And so then they say that they don't want to do medicals, which is exactly what SLI is that, as we're saying here, it's simplified issue. Like she's saying, it's underwritten by questions, but not on collection of meds. So everything would be these questions within Jenny answered. So that fits the bill there. But then they want to say that he has high blood pressure. But other than that, if we look at the underwriter guide, which I have attached here as a link.
Yeah, let's take a look at the underwriting guide right now.
Yeah, because I think I'm just looking at it and I don't see it mention that.
So we have this little cheat sheet called the underwriting guide. So before you even go on to Jenny, you might be thinking, okay, where do I start? I don't even know what questions to even ask my client. Where do I begin? So we have this cheat sheet here. So first page is automatic RC5 condition. So let's say your client has Huntington's, automatically you're going to get an RC5. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's look at high blood pressure, I think you said. High blood pressure.
Yeah, it was high blood pressure, yeah.
So we would need to know the client's age, when it was diagnosed, what type of medications that they're taking, and their current blood pressure reading. Type of medication, we don't really need to know, we don't ask for all the milligrams and all of that. We just want to know what kind of medication that they're taking, and they're taking more than one medication. So these are the four main things that you need to know before you're able to get a quote with your client. As saying it more vaguely here, like as long as this condition is controlled, their blood pressure is within a normal range, they'll be able to get our best risk class. So the main concept behind any of our conditions and how we rate them is as long as it's not too severe and it is controlled, we will be able to provide a good risk class. That's just the main concept for anything. So it doesn't matter if it's cardiovascular conditions, mental health conditions, blood pressures, diabetes, as long as it's controlled, it's stable, and there has been a track record of at least a couple of years of you being able to control and maintain this condition, then you should be able to qualify at least with an RC1 to RC3, which is our best risk classes. That's where you'll find the most competitive premiums as well.
And if do you have a description, because you keep referring to RC1, and do you have a description of what that looks like? Do you have a page on there? Because I'm just on that website and that I put the link up for. I do see their evolution products at a glance, which talks about Advanced Plus, Advanced, Express Plus, Express, and Essence.
Yeah.
Being
so what I'll do is I'll also send off this PDF. It's a one-pager that has all of our products and a full overview of everything. So RC1 is our Advanced Plus product, which is our best risk class.
Okay.
And then it drops down. I know with this traditional companies, you have your standard rate, then preferred, and then it drops down based on that. We just have RC1 as our best, and then it drops down based on your risk class increases.
And so if we're talking about the example that they just gave us, you're suggesting that if their blood pressure is under control, and that their medications are normal and everything seems to be well controlled, that they could get the Advanced Plus, which is the RC1, and they're between the ages of 51 and 70. Therefore, they could get a T100 or a T10 for up to 500,000. So it seems like it would fit the bill for that example there.
Exactly. What we can do is we'll actually run the case right now.
Okay.
Because I can go through the whole presentation, but I can also, I feel like a real life example of showing you the case studies and how we'll actually be able to provide you that best risk class will be a little helpful here. So if, was it a male? We can just put a male for now.
Yeah, it seems to be a male. They were 67.
That is 1956. And right now, I'm only filling out just the ones with the asterisk because I just want to quickly figure out what I can qualify this client. No extra information is needed. If I want to go ahead and complete this application, it's going to be under that saved button. I can go back in, put in all the client's details, and continue on with this application. But right now, okay, I want to figure out what I can qualify this client. Just put in the basic info, and I'm going to click straight on to evolution. Let's get started. Canada. Ontario. Any criminal charges? Same thing as a juvenile product. You're going to see all the questions that have been asked, all the answers here. And you also get to see Juvenile Life Assist here as well. So right now, they can get Evolution Advanced Plus up to $500,000 of coverage. These terms, let's see if it changes based on the client's medical condition. So we have to go through a couple questions in the beginning just to see if it does change their risk class, or if it completely kicks them out into guaranteed issue. Cannabis use is also one of our sweet spots. So you'll never be rated as a smoker. If you smoke, doesn't matter how much cannabis you smoke, you'll never be rated as a smoker. Your risk class will change based on how much you smoke though. You'll never have a smoker's rate. Do something averaged. Weight loss. Okay, 3.1. So this is different from the Evolution Junior products. We don't ask you for pre-qualification questions. We ask you 16 questions, yes or no, that is it. It's not intuitive. So based on Jenny will be different for the adult product, because let's say we say you have diabetes and we say that vision has been affected or something. It will change the questions based on your previous question. Evolution Junior application was just a yes or no. If you hit yes, then that was it, guaranteed issue. This is more intuitive to truly understand the risk of the client. So let's click on yes for the pre-qualification assessment. So this is what I would recommend clicking yes here if you're not with your client. If you just want to figure out what you're qualifying for, click yes here. If you are with your client and you're doing this application, you could go ahead and hit no, because there will be a set of medical questions at the end of the application. But right now, I'm just doing a quick assessment. So let's put high blood pressure. Next question, is it related to kidney disease? Hopefully not, and it's controlled. How old were you when they were diagnosed? How old are they right now? 67. I'll put in, 45, let's say. I'm not sure if that's too early for blood pressure, but even though it's still Advanced Plus and $500,000 of coverage. So every question, as soon as I hit next question, it will update this. So if it was to change, it would have showed me. We know our blood pressure reading. So it doesn't matter what condition you have, diabetes, blood pressure, we want to know if you know your readings, because that's telling us that you're actually you're monitoring yourself. If you don't know your readings, how do we know what, if their blood pressure levels are too high or not? So this is us so that we can try to understand the risk. So let's click yes here. I think the normal is like 120/80, so I'm going to put that in. And now you see that the medical pre-qualification assessment is complete. So now let's check what the client can qualify for. So they can get our best risk class up to $500,000 of coverage, and you can also play around with the premiums here as well. So based on the client's age, it's $439 for this much coverage. Let's just do 200,000. Where you're going to see the most competitive premiums for us is going to be within RC1 to RC3. So the client does fit within RC1. However, our age groups 18 to age 50, 55 is where you're going to see the most competitive premiums. Okay. Hopefully that cleared up your question. If you would like a quote as well, I think you can send me the transcript of the questions and I can send off quotes after the session. Yeah, no underwriting at claims time. I think that's where we left off, and it's a fully electronic application. It's all online. Okay, so how is, I know we're kind of jumping through a lot of stuff here, but we kind of just went over how SLI is helping you guys get covered, advisors with the application process, and how Jenny is helping you. But how is SLI helping your clients get covered? So the main thing is the way Jenny asks questions, it's in favor of your client. So let's bring up some cases here. So we have an individual here. She's a female, 45 years old with thyroid cancer. Her last treatment was 8 months ago, and she can get our best risk class. Also, you see here that her smoking status is a non-smoker, even though she does smoke cannabis. That's because anyone that smokes in cannabis will never be rated as a smoker. However, okay, so she has thyroid cancer and her last treatment was 8 months ago. How are we able to provide her our best risk class? We're able to provide her up to $500,000 of immediate coverage. This should say $1 million, my apologies, because she is below the age of $50, so it should say $1 million of immediate coverage of the next day coverage. Whereas her best alternative would have been a deferred coverage for up to $350,000 coverage. So how are we able to do that? So this is where Jenny comes into play, the way that we ask questions and our underwriting approach. That's where it all comes into play. So we understand that every cancer is different. So Kathy over here, she had thyroid cancer. She had her treatment. She removed the cancer. She removed the organ. She did her treatment. She's completely cancer-free now. Her risk of that same cancer coming back is very low. There is a high chance that she can just live a happy, healthy life without getting cancer again. The other individual over here has lung cancer. The risk between these two cancers are very, very different. Lung cancer is much more serious and has a higher risk than thyroid cancer. So we don't group cancers. If you have cancer, you're not going to get just a cancer rating. We're going to ask you what cancer you have, how that cancer is affecting you as an individual basis. We're going to want to know what stage that cancer was, what treatment was completed, was your follow-ups all normal, how long ago it was. This is so we can understand the true risk of the condition per client. So this is for cancer, but we also follow the same concept for any medical condition. We want to know the true risk of that condition and how that condition is affecting each client. Each condition will affect every client differently. Specifically for cancer, we also don't ask for how long you need to be cancer-free for. I know there are limits on it, within 5 to 10 years, you need to be cancer-free before you can get insurance. For us, because every cancer is rated differently, there are no limits for how long you need to be cancer-free for. Every cancer will be assessed differently. Now we have an individual here. Her name is Lily, and she's a female, 75 years old with breast cancer. Her last treatment was 12 months ago. So let's say that she, based on what we just learned, she just had breast cancer. Her treatment was 12 months ago. She removed her breast, cancer-free. Based on that, we know that she can get our best risk class. However, there is a little curveball here. She is a diabetic. She's insulin dependent. She was diagnosed at age 45. However, even though she has cancer, she is diabetic. She still has her blood sugar levels are controlled. Because it's within a controlled normal range, she's still able to get our best risk class. So she can get our best risk class insured the next day for up to $250,000 of coverage, whereas her best alternative would have been a deferred coverage. Yes, she could have gotten more coverage. However, at her age, 75 years old, you would want something that is immediate coverage. Okay, so where is evolution fitting in all of this? So I told you about, how we're able to provide coverage for moderate conditions. That's where we are trying to fill in the gap of the insurance market right now. So on one hand, you have the traditional market. It is for clients that have a low risk. You get a higher face value of coverage. It's a fully underwritten product. However, there are significant delays that come with if needed APSs, the medicals, the underwriting that all plays into that. There are delays and there's uncertainties if it will get approved or not. On the other hand, we have our simplified issue product. So this is for clients that have higher risk, but you're getting a lower face value. We don't do any medicals, but if you don't do any medicals, it pools the risk. So what we did is we try to create the best of both worlds here. We're giving you a higher face value for clients with moderate conditions. We don't do any medicals, but we also do not pool the risk. And we ask thorough questions to give you a fully underwritten product. There are also basically no delays unless there is an MIB hit. We'll cross-reference that, have a call with the client. But it is fast issue as well. Within 12 to 24 hours, 48 hours, we will issue the product. Okay, so let's bring back Lily again. I want to kind of go over how we determine the risk differences here. So we have two individuals here, both 67 years old. They were both diagnosed with diabetes at the exact same age at 55. Their treatment is the same. They were both on medication. However, one individual here, her blood sugar levels are controlled, 6.5, they're good. The other individual has their blood sugars at 10. And their medication has been fluctuating and their vision has been affected. Whereas the healthier individual, they're controlled, monitored, they're going to the doctors, regular checkups, blood sugars under control. These two individuals will get two different risk classes based on how that condition is affecting them. So you can have clients, 5 clients with diabetes, they can all possibly get different risk classes just based on how that condition is truly affecting them. So this is how we don't group the conditions just based on the fact that you have this condition. We're going to really dig deep to try to understand the real risk. So what products do we offer? So Lily, she was able to get up to $250,000 because she's within ages 71 to 80. You want $500,000 of coverage, even between ages 51 to 70. And you can get up to $1 million between ages 18 to 50. And that is increasing to $2 million coming up at the end of this summer. So there's 15 minutes to pre-qualify and get an instant decision. So what that means is, once I showed you on Jenny, as you answer the questions, you're getting an instant decision. So all the underwriting is happening with you in front of the client. So as you're going through it, you know exactly what your client is qualifying for. So before you even send in this application, you and your client know that, yeah, okay, we're going to be approved for this. It helps you also just with, selling the product as well. What happens normally is, you go to your wholesaler, you get your quote, or you go to the website, you get a quote. Quote looks lovely, premiums are affordable. You go ahead and apply. Now all the underwriting comes into play. It's being assessed, and now the client's rated. Let's say the premiums are not as favorable as it was before. As an advisor, it's harder to sell it and can make sure that product does get issued and it's settles at the end of the day. So what we are doing here is we're giving you full disclosure right in the beginning. So you and your client know exactly what you guys are going to be approved for, and it all gets processed within the same day, and your commissions also get paid out the same day. I'm going to go through a couple more case studies. So we have Adam here. He's a male, 52 years old. He had a heart attack and he was diagnosed 2 years ago. Also has high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol. So all of this together, it does sound a bit severe. However, his height and weight are normal. As you see now here, he falls within RC2. What are we able to provide him? We can give him our second best risk class, immediate coverage of $500,000, whereas the best alternative would have been a deferred coverage for up to $75,000. So Adam, even though he's had a heart attack, it was diagnosed 2 years ago, based on everything I've said so far, the high blood pressure, the cholesterol, what this means, why we're still able to give him one of our best risk classes, is because, okay, the heart attack was not too severe. He had a heart attack and we only put one stent in. Let's say he was for 2 stents in, it would drop into our guaranteed issue product. So as long as the conditions are controlled, monitored, and not too severe, we will be able to provide one of our top 3 risk classes to the client. Okay, now we have Carol here. She's a female, 28 years old. She was diagnosed with depression 3 years ago. She can get Advanced Plus up to $1 million of coverage. She is following her doctor's treatment plan. She's well controlled and it's stable. Why I'm bringing up this case is because you can easily take Carol to a traditional market and also get $1 million of risk of coverage as well in a traditional product and traditional company. However, considering someone that has depression or anxiety, we cater these products to make it easier for the client and for the advisor as well. We ask a set of questions, all full disclosure with the client, and it also helps in the sense that they don't have to disclose their name and all that information before figuring out what they qualify for. So you can sit with someone like Carol, go through the whole application process without sending in the application, understand what they qualify for, go ahead and submit the app, and they don't have to do any extra follow-ups with it. There's not going to be any medicals that are done, going into Sinai care, getting a doctor's report, extra underwriting. It really helps clients like this, and it also helps advisors as well, instead of going ahead and chasing clients to, get all the medicals, all those requirements done and completed to settle it. We created these products to help clients, yes, but we're also created to help advisors and make it more simplified products to make it more simple for you guys to do business as well. I think this is the last case here. So we have John. He owns a trucking company. I love SLI products for corporate owners. I always preach this to my advisors. If you have clients that are corporate owners, SLI is a great option. So medical conditions is one point. So he has type 2 diabetes. Weight is on the higher end. I'm going to show you our height and weight chart. We're super lenient with it. That's one of our sweet spots. He has diabetes, his height and weight is a little bit high, but he can still get our RC1 product, which means diabetes is under control. Blood sugars are not through the roof. There's nothing else that's been affected due to diabetes, so we can get RC1. However, what's great about this for John is that we don't ask for any BIN numbers, financial statements, or articles of incorporation. We make it very simple. We don't ask for the owner's ID or any financial statements. I know I used to work as an advisor, and I remember chasing this one guy down, I think for 7 to 8 months with financial statements. I don't think we ended up getting it at the end of it. I don't know what happened with that case, but there is a lot of follow up on administrative tasks and the uncertainties when it comes to some products and the requirements that require. So we tried again to create these products that makes it easier for you to do business as well. And a lot of owners don't want to give up their financial statements. So this is a product that if you do have clients that like that, this is a great option for them. So we're not going to ask too much information. We are going to ask the individual's income, separate income from the corporation, but that is it, the insurance income. So it's great for business owners, key persons, buy-sell agreements, and it's also instant issue, which means a lot of them, they're going to come in with, we needed insurance yesterday. We can provide it within that same day or 12 to 24 hours later. And we are also providing a high coverage amount that will be suitable for their needs as well. Okay, so that's just a quick overview of our juvenile products, how it kind of aligns with our adult products as well, the conversions options as there as well. Before, how much time do we have? Okay, 9 minutes. I do want to show our underwriting guide a little bit more in detail. So that first page is what goes over our automatic RC5 products. This is a list of major conditions, the questions that you need to kind of get you started for going on to Jenny.
And RC5, just to clarify here, RC5, you're talking about the guaranteed issue product. So that's up to $75,000. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Look at that page. Up to $75,000 if you're between the ages of 18 to 75, or if you're between the ages 76 to 80, you're looking at up to $25,000. Both of them are T100 offerings. So do you have, just because we have a question here, do you have anything to accommodate someone that's up to age 85?
Unfortunately, no, for age 85, only because our product does.
Your max is 80.
Yeah. So they were below 80 and smokers, healthy non-smoker. Yeah. So unfortunately, just due to the age, we wouldn't be able to offer coverage. Yeah. We do backdate 6 months. If they were above age 80 for 6 months, we would still be able to offer that coverage. However, we wouldn't be able to offer it someone that's 85.
Okay.
So our underwriting guide. Yeah. This is our height and weight chart, super lenient. Like for example, someone 5'9", best risk class at 276 pounds, even with an RC3 at 296 pounds, super lenient with our height and weight chart. So clients with build issues, SLI is a great option as well. One more thing I wanted to show you, I'll also be emailing all of this information, extra marketing tools, our website and all that, so you guys have it in hand. These are all the questions that we ask on our application, excluding that pre-qualification assessment that we did. So these are all the medical questions that we ask. Let me scroll down to it. So any cancers, these are all the medical questions that we ask for our adult product. So let's say, to make it simple for you, what you would do with your client, you don't know what they're qualifying for, send them this sample questionnaire. And they say, okay, I do have question 21, question 24 are concerns for me. Go ahead and look at it and ask them, okay, so which condition do you have? Based on that, you can go onto the underwriting guide, figure out, okay, that they've had high blood pressure. So now you know that you need to get this information from them, then you can go on to Jenny and figure out what you qualify for. I do understand that there are a little bit more steps here. The reason why that there are these steps is because we're giving you that instant decision before you even apply. You're spending 15 minutes now with you and your client to fully understand what they're qualifying for, how much coverage that they can get, rather than spending a month maybe with underwriting, going back and forth with them as they ask me questions every single time you need to update them. We're spending you're basically giving up that month for 15 to 10 minutes with your client right now to understand what they're qualifying for and give them a full understanding of what you can get them right in the beginning. Because we're doing our underwriting at the time of application and not afterwards. So I will be sending off an email with all the stuff that we went through today, your C credits as well, some resources. You can also go on the resources and our contact page on our website to figure out who the direct contact will be based on your region. Website.
There's the sample Jenny questionnaire. Would that be specific to the junior or no? It wouldn't be, would it? Oh, sample application? No.
Yeah, these are the sample applications. So these are the questions that we're going to ask. So where did I click? I clicked on resources. If you scroll down, you're going to see sample applications for all of our products.
Mm-hmm.
So click on that. And
that will have all the questions that Jenny will ask?
Yes, this should right here. You're seeing all the questions here.
Okay, so there we go. So if you guys go to the SLI website, I'll put it again in there. Then you will see all the stuff. Go under resources. Resources are great in there to help out with. But also, if you go over to About Us and then the sales team, you can also contact your local sales team for more information.
Yeah.
Contact the local sales team. I put that link in the info as well. I'll just upload it one more time for you guys.
Our website is great. Our resources page, love it. If there's so much information in there, if you want sample policies for any of the products, it's all there. Applications are all there. It is all online, but we do give you those sample applications there so you can have a full overview of what questions that we ask. But everything is here. There's some extra forms, any marketing materials as well. It's all on this. But if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out and I'm happy to help. I know that our surest question was asked. I will send out some documents in that email I sent out.
All good. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Varshni. It was great.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.